Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be back with another Young Indian, part of the Voice of the Young series. Right now, we have with us Donisha Maheshwari. Let's listen to her. Over to you, Donisha.
Thank you, Professor Mathur, and thank you for this opportunity. I'll start with introducing myself. I am Donisha Maheshwari, and I currently work in London in financial services. My current role involves raising funds for asset managers across the globe. Let me take you back a bit to where my journey started. During the COVID-19 pandemic, I was in India finishing my engineering degree at the University of Rajasthan. Like many soon to be graduates, I was trying to figure out what the future held. But the truth is, my confusion about my career started long before that. Throughout my education, I struggled to find a clear path for myself. I was interested in subjects from science, commerce, and humanities, and had no particular favorite subject in school up until 10th standard. But our education system did not allow us to mix and match. It was back then when I was in school. Things have changed now. We had to follow a strict track, and I eventually chose science because it was considered to be the most versatile, offering the potential to shift to other fields in the future if you wish to. um, that's how I fell into engineering. However, the lack of role models around me and guidance made it challenging to understand what I truly wanted to pursue. Then, throughout school and college, I had dabbled with a bunch of stuff and gained hands on experience in different roles like consulting, business development, lab research, web development, so on and so forth. It was during the lockdowns and the uncertainty of the pandemic that I began exploring the world of stocks and cryptocurrencies.
So, where were you in the pandemic?
I was partly in Jaipur up until August, and then I was in Surat,
Okay.
where my parents
Yeah.
live. So that's about that. And so after this, what appealed to me was the thrill, the quick feedback, and the constant learning, which basically hooked me. And this newfound passion led me to pursue a master's in financial technology at Imperial College Business School in London. So I moved to London in 2022. Then at Imperial, I had the opportunity to delve deep into both tech and finance. I joined the student investment fund where theory met practice in the most exciting ways, I would say. We managed a portfolio, analyzed market trends, and made investment decisions. It was like, again, hands on experience that solidified my interest in corporate finance. And up until very recently, working in asset management, specifically private debt, for the past 11 months or so. I have conducted fundamental analyses of mid market credit deals, worked on intricate financial models, and presented investment memos. This intellectually stimulating environment and the chance to understand different companies and sectors kept me motivated. And I love contributing to the economy by identifying market opportunities and helping companies navigate disruptions. So finally, I have found something I'm very excited about. Um, and speaking of which, this brings me to something, again, I'm very passionate about, which is the future of India. Before we dive into the specifics, I want to acknowledge that every nation has its strengths and weaknesses. No country is perfect, and each has its share of achievements and challenges. Um, there are many positives about India, but then there are also areas that need improvement. So today I would like to mainly focus on education, entrepreneurship, and development of youth.
Okay.
Um, India has made remarkable progress in various sectors, for example, technology, educational reforms, and surge in entrepreneurship. Programs like the National Education Policy are reshaping our educational landscape, making it more holistic, flexible, and aligned to the needs of 21st century. And this is a significant step towards bringing out the unique capabilities of each student. At the same time, initiatives like Digital India have propelled us into a new era of technology, making services and information more accessible than ever. Um, I think the internet penetration rate in India is at an all-time high. It increased from about 30% back in 2015, and these are statistics from the top of my head, and which is somewhere around 50-55% now. And this digital transformation again is bridging gaps and creating opportunities across the country.
Yeah.
The third thing, again, the initiatives like Startup India, um, which was launched back in 2016 when I had just started college, has created a vibrant startup ecosystem. As of 2023, there are around 50,000 startups and more than 100 unicorns. I think the latest figure I researched was around 107 or 115. I'm not too sure about that. But this growth is phenomenal and showcases our potential and drive for innovation. And then on top of it, mainstream shows like Shark Tank India have also played a significant role in popularizing entrepreneurship, providing a platform for budding entrepreneurs. And this has taken the startup culture into the mainstream, again, inspiring countless individuals to pursue their entrepreneurial dreams. It's I'm very happy to see people idolizing these sharks and not just Bollywood actors and actresses anymore. So that's very good change. um, However, despite these achievements, we still face significant challenges. And in my opinion, the most important one is youth unemployment. Despite having one of the largest youth populations, many young people in India are either unemployed or underemployed. Our youth unemployment rate stands at about 45%. I checked this again just to be sure because it was very alarming for me, whereas the global average is around 13%. Um, I think this is an issue which needs immediate attention. Many college graduates find themselves in jobs that do not match their qualifications. Um, and then this is also partially due to lack of suitable employment opportunities, but also education gaps. While more kids are going to school, the quality and relevance of education often don't match up. Our learning system, although builds a solid foundational theoretical knowledge, and I would say it is very, very good, it fails us to prepare for real world challenges. I would like to share one statistic again,
Yes.
because I'm too used to using numbers. So, according to the annual status of education report 2022, only 73% of fifth graders can read a second grade level text,
Yes.
which again, very shocking.
Yes.
Um,
You have to stop reading Acer, otherwise you will just cry.
oh, okay.
This is the same year after year that the school system doesn't do
Yeah,
anything for those kids. In fifth grade can't read second grade. It is a hopeless task.
yeah,
So I read it and I weep. What can you do?
yeah. And
Uh,
I think I was maybe my education was very good, and I really thank my teachers to for
yeah,
providing that foundational knowledge to me,
yeah.
that I did not imagine a world where this could be a possibility until I started reading these stats.
Okay.
So this was shocking for me.
Yeah,
Um, so again, I think our education system needs to change where it promotes critical thinking, creativity, and practical skills.
yeah,
And then lastly, I would like to talk about entrepreneurship support.
yeah,
Although we have a growing number of startups, the support for entrepreneurship is often concentrated to major cities. We need to expand these opportunities to rural and semi-urban areas. I think only about 20-25% of startups maximum have access to sufficient funding, and
yeah,
sufficient being the key word here, which again limits our growth potential. We need to create employers as well. We need to ensure that budding entrepreneurs from all corners of the country have access to the resources and support they need to succeed. Um, then bringing about this change in education and youth development in India requires certainly a multifaceted approach. First would be reforming the education system, and here I have taken examples from my experience and also about reading from education systems of other countries, because this was very, very personal for me. I have suffered through this, so have done a bit of research here. um, for example, Germany's dual education system, which combines classroom learning with hands-on work experience, has been highly effective in reducing youth unemployment specifically. And similarly, practice of offering apprenticeships in UK instead of formal higher education does a good job for people to directly get into the workforce early on without having to go to college formally. And even for roles that require college degree. So that was very impressive for me. And then again, I spoke about critical thinking. So encouraging critical thinking and problem solving over just memorization will prepare us for real world challenges. And this is a big difference I have seen myself after studying in the UK. And then again, Finland's education system, one of the best in the world, it focuses on student centric learning and creativity, which can serve as a model for us. And I think when they were developing the NEP, they did take some examples, or did take influence from Finland's education system, which was good thing. Um, then for entrepreneurship, I would say while Startup India is a great initiative, we need to expand its reach to rural areas. And I think for example, Kerala and Telangana have done a good job in establishing these incubators. For example, Kerala, I think, supports it's called Kerala Startup Mission, and it supports around 2,500 startups. And I think this model can be replicated across various states. Similarly, there's T Hub in Telangana, which is one of India's largest startup incubator, and it offers state-of-the-art infrastructure, mentorship from industry, and access to global network of investors. Um, and lastly, I would also like to say that this somewhere requires industry academia collaboration, because bridging the gap between what we learn and what the market needs is very essential. Again, I would like to take example here. The co-op education system in the US and Canada can serve as a model for India. And I think they did announce some internship support. I did not have the time to read the whole budget highlights until yet, but I think they did announce something on these lines. In this system, so I think Northeastern University and University of Waterloo, they have highly successful co-op programs, and they make students more employable upon graduation because they graduate with around 1.5 years of work experience. So that's certainly something the industry values. Um, that's about it about my issues or solutions for India. And I also like to add how I can help. I think because I've gone through this whole transition of studying in India, then having to choose a field just because we didn't have the option, and then studying in the UK, I think I can offer mentorship support to young students and sharing my knowledge and experience to guide them in their careers, which I did not have. And I'm already working with a few students and young entrepreneurs, helping them navigate their career. Um, then organizing sessions on financial literacy, investment, and entrepreneurship can also equip us with skills needed to succeed. Um, and then I think policy advocacy is something I would like to try um, in the future. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well,
that's
thank you, Donisha. I'm very, very happy and very, very impressed by your breadth of research and learning and your motivation to actually do something in the real world. So
Mhm.
let's chat a little bit about some of the points that you made. And you are the expert on finance. I'm not. I know something, but not enough. So let me ask you to talk about where you think this term fintech and other terms, what is happening with fintech in India? Is it relevant? Are we really seeing some big developments? What is it? Do you know?
No, I think it's very relevant in terms of India because um, most of the people are online, and I think the government did a brilliant job of getting everyone connected and having bank accounts. Um, and I see that the Indian payment system is actually more developed than what we have in the Western countries. So that's a very good thing. And that again, the issue we used to have with benefits not reaching to people that they are actually meant for, that is partially solved, I would say. I'm not too sure because I've heard instances of, again, something getting in between. I would not like to delve into the specifics because it's a hearsay. So, but I think it's a step in a good direction.
Okay, but my focus was more on the workings of the financial sector itself. Yes, subsidies, do they reach the right person, to their
Mhm.
bank accounts? Those are important things. But the question is, are we really able to deliver both debt and equity to startups and to small companies in with risk adjustment? Okay, so recognizing that these are risky, are we able to deliver enough debt and equity flows to these companies, or are we still dependent on bootstrapping and then some government money and then some foreign money? Is there enough money Indian that is flowing? I mean, they have two separate targets. Startups, typically, as you mentioned, are in big cities, and small enterprises, they might be in smaller cities. Now, I won't call Surat small.
Mhm.
Surat is a very big and prosperous city, but
Mhm.
it's not in the headlines as one of the top 10 cities. But Surat is very good in many ways. But
Yeah.
there are smaller cities in Gujarat. Are
Mhm.
the people there able to get both? You need both debt and equity. So do you have any thoughts on this?
Yes, I do actually. Um, I think with respect to private equity investments, I I feel that Indians or Indian shops, Indian investment shops, don't take risk of investing in early stage startups. And the most significant investments you will see are from these foreign investment offices, which is kind of appalling to me because you know the DNA of India, you know how big the market opportunity. Why wouldn't you take a bet? Because I do feel that Indians have Indians have more risk taking ability than foreigners, um, or at least Europeans. I'm not too sure about
Yeah,
US investors. Um, so that's one thing. And the funding methods that were existing or that were existent in Western countries from long ago, they have just started making their way to India. So uh, there's this funding method called venture debt, which I did not hear of back when I was back in India. But then it has started picking up because it allows you to raise capital without diluting your equity.
yeah,
Those methods are also picking up. and and speaking of funding in smaller cities, and I can say this for Gujarat, there's a lot of informal funding
Yes.
ecosystem in Gujarat. So I think that's what helps drive the
Yeah.
Gujarat economy
Yeah.
because people are trusting and again more risk taking, I would say.
Well, you know, the Gujaratis brought that informal funding to the US. And
Hmm.
when they started buying up
Yeah.
hotels, they would pay cash. And nobody would understand why they don't need a mortgage or a bank approval. Let's say, I'll pay you tomorrow. Close
Hmm.
the deal. Because they were borrowing from each other
Yeah, yeah. It's
with
a
no
different
paper.
ecosystem
With
altogether.
no paper. Oh, my grandfather knew your grandfather
Yeah,
loaned me 50,000. So
yeah,
50,000, take 60.
yeah,
So, that informal lending was
yeah.
there in the US, and some people actually filed a case about it.
Oh,
That look, this is squeezing out legitimate buyers who take loans. But of course, the court threw it out. They say, who cares
yeah.
how they borrow from each other? If they borrow, they borrow. What the heck does it matter? So that informal system is there. Uh,
Mhm.
but we need, every state doesn't have it.
Yeah, I would agree to
Every
that.
state. Okay, so let's shift out of the financial to your points on education. And you mentioned Germany and Finland and UK. Those are very prosperous countries.
Yeah.
They can spend quite a bit of money per student, and they actually do.
Yeah.
And they have low birth rates.
Mm.
So there aren't that many children.
Yeah.
To Germany, the median age is now what, 49? Uh,
Mhm.
there are very few children. So Finland, I'm not sure what is the TFR, but I don't think that they have the number of children that India has. So
Mhm.
how do you expect to take a high cost model, which is high even relative to GDP,
Yeah.
and apply it to India?
That is a very good point, actually. And whenever we think of taking something from Western countries, there is this argument always that, they have higher per capita income and less people, both are interrelated, so to speak. But I would say we can start by increasing the quality of teachers because training teachers would not incur a high upfront cost just yet. So I think that would be the first step to start because even we were in the same education system, and this might come off as being privileged because my education was in a private school. So obviously things are different. But then I think private school teachers have that kind of training or to make classes more engaging or just teachers have that kind of training, I think. I don't
Yeah,
know what
yeah,
else to speak.
yeah.
So start by investing in teachers and teaching methods
Mhm,
rather than
mhm.
working on students or even working on getting the infrastructure right. If you have a basic classroom, if you like, if you have a building, if you have a board and a chalk, I think it could be done pretty well.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. That actually, uh, inspired teachers don't need capital equipment.
Yes,
That's,
yes.
it's just not true that every child who has to learn in India needs a laptop or a
Yeah.
tablet, and a teacher has to have a digital classroom. Learning is the same as it was 1,000 years ago.
Yes.
Okay, especially in young age, you
Mhm.
can find some information from internet and all, but when you are 7 years old and you are learning mathematics and reading,
Yeah.
then it's the teacher who's doing it to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether teacher can be virtual, I doubt. Maybe not. But whatever it is, the teachers who are inspiring can really make a difference. There's no question about it. So on the whole, yes, we can manage with lower cost.
Yeah.
If we are
And
clever and innovative, yes, I think
yeah.
we can manage. I think that point is well taken. I like that point. Let me move to another aspect, of the German system. And
Sure.
the German system, I think, hinges very much on the demand for those workers. It's not that they produce these workers, it's that there is a demand for them. The placement rate is high, people can get good jobs. And you see that even in the US these days, that uh, blue collar workers like electricians and plumbers, AC repair, air conditioning repair, heating repair, welding, especially high quality welding, you can make very good money. There's
Yeah.
absolutely no doubt about it. Of course, the guy who comes to look at your air conditioner is charging $150 an hour. Of course, he gets only half of it, but still $75 an hour is not a bad income. And the
Yeah.
guy who's doing the welding, in say you are making some industrial equipment and you are welding, if you are welding the wings of a Boeing, you're going to charge $300 an hour. Right?
Yeah.
So you can make good money. That money is not available in India
Mm-hmm.
to drive the people to these occupations. Though I guess these days, even electricians and plumbers in India make good money. I think you can't get them the next day at all. I think they make good money. But on the other vocations, I don't know. Do you have any sense of where the big money is for blue collar workers in India?
Actually, as you were speaking this point, like there was this specific instance. My first internship in industry was with this startup called Urban Company. It was called Urban Clap before, and it was renamed to Urban Company in 2019 or 2020. And the whole model was about formalizing this ecosystem of blue collar workers. And because I was the one working on this platform, or sort of managing this platform, I was on the business team. I could see how much money the blue collar workers were making. And these included electricians, plumbers, carpenters, beauticians, barbers, all of these people.
The beauticians always made money. Please keep them out.
No, 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 no. But
They are pink collar workers, not blue collar. But I want to know how much these barbers and carpenters and they were making. You may remember how much they were making.
yes, it was in 2019. It was some workers were making more than the salaries of white collar employees. But then it had a range again, because it also depended on whether the person would take up work or not. The platform had work, but some people accepted it. They were willing to work hard, go on as many jobs as needed, and make that money. Whereas there were others who did not take up work. They were happy with taking one or two jobs a day and then satisfied with whatever 10,000, 15,000 a month they earned.
So what was the sort of outrageous maximum that somebody was earning?
I have heard, or I have seen figures 50K to
Yeah.
70K a month.
Okay, that's great money.
Yes.
It's,
So that's
that's
why I countered your point. There is money to be made.
okay. No, I'm chatting. I don't know the numbers. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
asking. And maybe these are only in tier one cities, and you don't get that much money in tier two. Yeah,
No, so like the city I was looking at was Jaipur, and
yeah.
then we also had tier two cities on the platform at that time, like Chandigarh, Jaipur, Baroda, etc. Obviously, more money was being made in tier one because they charged different prices for different services in tier one cities. But then there was the figure I told you was in Jaipur.
Yeah.
And then I would also like to combine it with the skills that this platform provided. they took these people, trained them. They had a specific, very specific hard skills training for a week, 10 days. They had assessments, they had soft skills training, and then these people were put on the platform to interact with the clients. So it also depends on the skills development.
Yeah, but this is not government skill development. This is private company skill development.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
And what happened to that company?
They are running successfully. I think they have, no, they have actually become a unicorn now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. Anything else you want to tell us?
Um, Nothing is like, I don't have anything off the
Okay.
top of
And
my
where do
head.
you see, and okay, to my standard two questions, any tips for young people?
Yes, I think I have two tips. Um, there are people nowadays saying, okay, education doesn't matter, you should focus on other things, etc. But I would say you should focus on education, get good marks, excel in everything you do. It may not be useful in the way you think it to be, but then it would take you to places. So just don't blindly follow people saying, oh, you can leave studies, drop out, etc. If you don't have a plan, at least try and get good marks.
Mm.
And then, secondly, I would say don't just read about things online, etc. Go out there, try things hands on, speak to people who are working in the role you want to work on. Just get an understanding of what the work is about, because many young people are mesmerized by the picture painted by few people in specific industries. Okay, I am so and so earning 50 lakhs per annum in this industry, in this company. But I think they are, like, it's not the norm. You should, and even statistically speaking, 30 is a significant number. So you should at least speak to 20, if not 30 people in that industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. That's good tip. How do you see your own future?
Um, I think I have found the place which I was looking for, or at least the industry which I was looking for through all these years, working in different areas. So I would be sticking to finance. And I want to do something in um, debt space. So maybe venture debt or structured debt, something like, I'm still figuring this out, because even I have started 10 months, 12 months ago in this space. So a lot to learn, and it's a vast space.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, but something on those lines. And then I would also, um, I also see myself developing these reports that banks give out, or the World Bank gives out, the outlook for next quarter, or the outlook for next year. So I think those are the two things
Okay.
I want to focus on.
Okay. Well, thank you, Donisha. I enjoyed very much the chit chat. And just to make it clear to everybody, this is the first time I've had a chit chat in this series. And at least for me, it was very successful. And I hope to have more chit chats with little young, older people like Donisha, who have had some years of work experience behind her and behind them. And so I think that's a great contribution you have made to bring about change, a minor change in the Vidped format, where we still have the speaker focus first on what she wants to say, and then we just have a chit chat rather than uh, question and answer session. Okay. Anything else you want to add here?
No, I think I have said what I wanted to say, but yeah, happy to contribute wherever, however I can. I
Okay.
think.
Right, we'll talk about that offline. Let's say bye to the viewers, and I'll be back with another young person or an expert soon. Bye till then. Bye, everybody.